Good afternoon. This is David Whitaker. We appreciate you being on the webinar with us today. We're very fortunate to have Mike McCurdy and Alyssa Peters with us as presenters. Mike has a long career in human resources. He served the Bluebird Corporation as Vice President of Human Resources and External Affairs, beginning in 1998 until his retirement in January 2017. He's had a very good career there. He's now with the Georgia Employers Association. We're fortunate to have him here. He will tell you a little bit about Alyssa in just a minute, but we've got a couple of housekeeping issues before I turn it over to Mike. The lines are muted, but you can type your question in, and I will read them at the end of each presentation. Also, you should be able to download a copy of the brochure that we've got just showing on your screen now. If you can't for some reason, send us an email and we can forward it on to you. So, Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, well, thank you, David, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the webinar today. We're coming from rainy Macon, Georgia. Hopefully, wherever you're at, you're seeing a little bit of sunshine. First of all, again, we thank you for participating today. We want to talk a little bit about our June 22nd workshop that's going to be held at the Galleria Marriott in Atlanta, Georgia. This is our initial workshop this year in Atlanta, and we'll have a couple more before the year is finished. And please check our website at georgiaemployers.org for coming events that you and your company may be interested in. The seminar we have on the 22nd, we've got two of the attorneys with the Constangy, Smith and Prophete law firm, and I'm excited to be coming to you today, sitting across from Alyssa Peters. Alyssa is a partner with the firm, and Alyssa, can you tell the group a little bit about yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm glad you joined us today. We just wanted to tell you a little bit about the great presentation that's coming up June 22nd. It's a presentation that I'm honored to speak at. But to tell you a little bit about myself, for those of you that might not know me, I am a new partner with Constangy. I have actually been with Constangy for about 9 years now, and we are a labor and employment boutique firm, meaning we only practice in labor and employment defense. I personally focused and have focused the past 9 or so years on representing companies through litigation, whether that be litigation in a discrimination context or a wage and hour context, class action, single action claims. And I also do a lot of management training for our clients and for groups like GEA to help companies learn how to hopefully avoid litigation so you don't need me on the back end. I've worked very closely with Constangy for the last few years, with GEA for the last few years, and I'm excited to watch GEA grow and be a part of all of these new efforts they have to educate their member companies, and I hope we can work together soon and get you and your company started off on the right track or continued on the right track. I think Mike wants to tell you a little bit about the details of what the presentation is going to be about, and I'll tell you a little bit more about specifically what I will be talking about June 22nd and what my partner, Jonathan Martin, will be talking about as well.
Thank you, Alyssa, and I can tell from personal experience, Alyssa is very good at what she does. A little bit about GEA, for those of you that don't know anything about Georgia Employers, we're a nonprofit organization that supports Georgia business, and we have been around since 1981. We bring relevant training topics to different venues around the state of Georgia, and we want to talk a little bit about our seminar workshop on the 22nd. First, we have Greg Nored. Some of you may know Greg or have seen him. He's the founder, CEO of Nored Associates. It's a security firm, but he does a lot more than just workplace safety. You may have seen him on some of the local news stations in Atlanta. He's been featured on CNN. He provided protection for Colonel Oliver North, former Vice President Dan Quayle, Newt Gingrich, and different members of campaign staffs, most recently Dr. Ben Carson when he ran for president. He's done a lot of work for companies like Chick-fil-A, Kroger, Emory, and international airports. So Greg is certainly an expert in terms of safety. Some of the things he's going to be featured in this seminar is minimizing the chances of being a victim of violent crime. Specifically, he will be talking about many of us do travel domestically and internationally, and how can you, especially if being from the U.S. and you're traveling internationally, how can you minimize your chance of being a victim of crime? And he has some really good recommendations of that. Unfortunately, in the workplace today, there are events like what happened in Orlando a couple of days ago, where a disgruntled employee came in and actually shot 5 of his co-workers. Hopefully none of us will ever have to be part of that, but Greg is going to be presenting information to us on what do you do in the case of an active shooter. It's good to have policies, procedures that that you can train your staff on in a case of something like that. Alyssa, we also have one of your partners at Constangy, Jonathan Martin, who will be making a presentation. Can you tell us a little bit about what Jonathan will be discussing?
Sure. The presentation on the 22nd is really to help companies, HR, employees deal with the prevalent issues that are that we're seeing arise, in 2017, with Greg Norad talking about personal safety, active shooters, traveling internationally. I mean, our topics try to go along with his to really just give you an overview of what's going on in 2017 and hopefully provide you with some tools to help you and how to navigate the legal pitfalls in employment law that would help you deal with some of these. Jonathan specifically is going to focus a lot on the political unrest and protests that we've seen an abundance of this year. We've had the Women's March, the Day Without Hispanics, and predict to see a lot more this year with our new president in office and with the ever-increasing interest in having those types of political strikes, if you will. A lot of us in manufacturing environments, and really all companies, need to know how to deal with that. I mean, can you terminate someone because they said they're going to participate in this march and they're not going to go to work the next day? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on how they communicate that to you. It depends on how many of your employees are going to go out with them, whether they're talking about it at work, outside of work. There's a lot of pitfalls in the political unrest and strike area that Jonathan's hopefully going to shed some light on, so you can know how to deal with those if they come up. And then I'm going to fall in with the ever important social media. And we all know that social media is growing, and it can either be a tool or it can be a disaster. So I want to really explain to the guests on June 22nd ways that HR can utilize social media in a way to benefit your company, whether it be hiring or monitoring employees or dealing with, for example, Family Medical Leave Act, potential abuse. If you have someone that is on intermittent FMLA leave and they say their migraines are flaring up and they can't come into work today, yet you see them on Facebook at Six Flags, what can and can you not do with that knowledge? And at the same time, I want to explain how you can use social media a little bit in marketing your company if you're a smaller employer, or how to set up policies and procedures to deal with negative comments by your employees through social media. Those types of really pitfalls that we see, the types of phone calls that I get weekly calls on from clients, and really what we're seeing the National Labor Relations Board focusing on and what we see lawsuits about. So hopefully we can take the veil off of social media and explain how to really make it work for us as a tool instead of maybe as a pitfall for our employees. So I really hope you would join us June 22nd. It should be a very educational and entertaining day for HR and a kickstart to our Atlanta seminars. I think that's it for me, Mike.
Yeah, Lisa, thank you so much. You know, some of the studies I've seen that up to 25% of a individual's time today is spent using social media. So if 25% of your day, that's got to filter into the workplace.
Certainly.
How can we handle it? And you talk about this this workshop, you know, yes, specifically designed for HR professionals, but also those that are in safety. Regardless of the size of your company, it can be 25 employees, maybe you're the owner, whatever your position, if you're in any type of leadership, these are relevant topics that you may face as we go forward. So we look forward to you coming, and certainly tell associates or anyone in any organizations you have that this should be a workshop that they shouldn't miss.
Okay, well, thank you, Alyssa and Mike. Let's see if we have any questions. I don't see any questions. Does anyone have a question we could answer for you? Or you can raise your hand, and I will attempt to unmute your line. You can just ask your question right over the phone if anyone has any questions. Okay. Still don't see any questions. Mike, Alyssa, anything else that y'all would like to add to the presentation this afternoon?
I think that's it. We hope you found this informative about our June 22nd presentation, and hope to see you there.
You can register by. I'm sorry.
Thank you, David, again for bringing us to the folks today, and of course you can register at the Georgia Employers website, right?
Exactly. Very, very easy to register. Okay, well, I don't see any questions, so we're going to close out for now. We do appreciate y'all attending, and please feel free to contact us if you have any questions or anything we can do for you, and y'all have a great afternoon.